Hey all, it's Trainer Oblivio. We're here with the episode 1 of our ORAS Nuzlocke playthrough. So we're going to be playing this alongside Trainer Miscellaneous. If you don't know his channel, I heavily suggest that you go check him out. Really good Pokemon trainer. We've played Pokemon, played video games all the time, and I just really think he's worth your time. So guys, back to the gameplay here. We're just, this is going to be episode 1. It's going to be a little on the light side as far as the series goes. We're just going to do the same boring stuff, go through the beginning sequence. We're going to name our character. We're going to get our starter Pokemon, all that good stuff, all the stuff that comes with starting a brand new Pokemon adventure. And along the way, I hope to get to know a little bit more about you guys, and you guys get to know a little bit more about me. I really do hope that you guys enjoy this content. Any and all feedback is appreciated, and of course, let's get underway here. So, let me go through and explain basically what's going to be going on in this specific Nuzlocke. It's going to be a little bit custom. It's not going to be like most Nuzlockes that you may or may not have seen. I know it definitely deviates from the original Nuzlocke rules, but it definitely roots in the original Nuzlocke. So this is what we like to call a first encounter Nuzlocke. I'm going to go through the nuances of it, all the ins, the outs, the rules that go with it, and all that sort of stuff. So along the way, I'm going to try to keep up with the video and keep up with you guys. So this is what we call a Pokemon here. You guys know this sequence. This is a pretty cool bit. I thought, in my opinion, I really enjoyed this personally when I first played this game, that they brought back the original video sequence, or at least part of it, from the original Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games. I honestly thought that was really cool. Not entirely sure what they were viewing it off of, what the character was viewing it off of at first. We later find out that that's the Pokénav, but I just thought it was a really nice add-in that they threw in there. Really good detail. Nintendo, Game Freak, the Pokemon companies, they're very good about that. They're good about their attention to details, and I hope that I can pick up as many of those and showcase them to you guys along the way here. I like that sequence there. So here we are. What about you? Are you a boy or a girl? the classic, are you a boy or a girl? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna choose Trainer Brendan here. In case, for those of you that don't know, in the third generation, the hero / heroine of the third generation journeys is Brendan and May respectively. I, however, am going to be naming myself Oblivio. That's my name. So that's what we're going with. Now back to explaining the Nuzlocke and its rules. The first encounter Nuzlocke, the first thing that we're going to have to do, that you guys are going to see in a little bit here, is we're ditching the starter. I just personally think that it provides a bit more of a challenge if you ditch the starter. The starter Pokemon, as you guys may or may not know, is a Pokemon that's given to you at the beginning of the game, and it's definitely a Pokemon that, in my personal opinion, is a little bit. I think that the way that they make the games, they make the starter Pokemon a little bit stronger than most of the Pokemon that you will be encountering throughout your journey, kind of as a fail-safe, so that you're not dissuaded from playing the game because you go to the first route and then you get knocked out by a wild Pokemon. You're like, oh, what the heck, this is too hard. But in order to provide that better challenge, we are going to be getting rid of our starter Pokemon. Sorry for you guys. I know there's a lot of you that are probably partial to Torchic, Trico, or Mudkip. When I first started the third generation, I chose Mudkip as my starter. But sadly, that's just the way it goes. Here we are now here in our new town, looking up at the sky, watching that jet or Pokemon or whatever that was that went by. Oblivio, you're here at last. So there's wasn't it tough riding in the back of the moving truck? Well, this is Little Town. So actually, I was gonna go ahead and say, guys, before I cut off there, little known fact, but in the third generation, well, this isn't little known, but in the 3rd generation, Little Root Town is actually just like Pallet Town and New Bark Town for the 1st and 2nd generation respectively. It is the town that you start off in. But little known fact, Brendan and or May and their families moved over from the Johto region to the Hoenn region. So it's kind of cool, I thought, that they went from, you know, the previous generation, Generation 2, they moved from that region over into this brand new generation, and it's a brand new adventure with brand new characters. I always thought that was kind of a cool tidbit there, but let's get back to the game here. They really make moving a cinch. Yeah, I bet they do. Having a bunch of macho candy, I'm sure, is really helpful. You know, big, burly, they're strong Pokemon, so sure moving's nothing for them. Growl, growl, growl. I don't know what sound a Machop made. But our dad did get us a new clock, so let's go ahead and set that. So we're gonna go upstairs here, if I can walk. I do want to apologize in advance, guys. The video may or may not be a little bit choppy. My editing software is just, it was a little bit off when I did this, so in the future it will definitely be better, but just want to go ahead and say sorry about that. Also, like I read on that notebook there, if you hit X you will open up the start menu, and I'm going to go ahead here and change the dialogue speed from normal to fast. When I play my Pokemon Adventures, me personally, I like when the dialogue goes quickly. That's just because I read quickly, and I don't really like to sit around and spend a lot of time on the dialogue. The dialogue is important, and you will see in the future here that I do like to go around and talk to and interact with all the things in the world, but I just don't spend a lot of time on the dialogue. I'm sure that's something that a lot of us Pokemon trainers can agree with. Oh, Oblivio, come quickly. It's Petalburg Gym. Maybe Dad's on TV. Your father is Norman, and Norman is the Petalburg City gym leader. That is what your mother is referring to here. What a shame. But that reminds me, one of Dad's friends lives here in town. Professor Birch is his name. He lives right next door. Maybe you should go over and introduce yourself. That sounds like a really good idea, Mom, because that's basically how you get your Pokemon adventure started. You have to go introduce yourself to the professor and get things underway. So let's, this is actually a nice little thing that they added. I think it's specific to ORAS, that being OmegaRuby I, Sapphire. When you interact with the signs in every town, it kind of gives you like a little intro, if you would, kind of like a little snippet of the town, an overview, and I just think that's pretty neat. Here we are. Oh, hello, and you are? Oh, you're Oblivio, our new next door neighbor. Welcome. We have a daughter about the same age as you. She is so excited to meet new people. You should go upstairs and introduce yourself. You could just as easily bring her down here, but what the heck, let's go for it. And here we are. This is a new character render in this generation for May. Like I said before, she's a heroine. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you guys think of the new renders? I know they're not new now, but they're definitely newer from the 3rd generation to this being the 6th generation specifically. Did you guys like the new renders? Did you like the new models? Let me know down below. Oh, you must be Oblivio. Was today your move? Well, I'm May. Glad to meet you. I actually have this dream of becoming friends with Pokemon all over the world. And then Dad, Professor Birch. It's silly, yep. She wants to be friends with everybody, but she's getting caught up, and she totally forgot that she has to go help her father out on the field doing field work. Silly May. See you later. Or in the words of Blue, smell you later, I guess. So this is kind of her room. Just gonna showcase that there. Now after this bit, as I said, I will be going through and explaining a little bit more of the first encounter Nuzlocke as we go through the video, but I do want to get over to this sequence really quickly here. I think I hear someone screaming up ahead. What should I do? What should we do? Should you go check? Well, being the hero, I guess that's kind of my duty, huh? And here we have, of course, Professor Birch being a silly old goose being chased by a Poochyena. don't know what specifically he did to anger the Poochyena to have him be chased around like that, but that's just how it goes. So here we are. We're choosing our starter, which brings me right back to the rules of the Nuzlocke. First encounter, basically, as the name states, it's going to be the first encounter of every new area that we get into. So whether that be a cave, a forest, a new route, a new surf or fishing area, we will be encountering the first Pokemon there and catching them regardless of nature, ability. It's the first Pokemon that we catch there. However, in order to basically not make this a 10-part series where I have a team full of Zigzagoons and then we go to the fighting gym and get swept and we lose the Nuzlocke, we are going to set up a couple of boundaries, a couple of clauses, which is why I said before this was going to be a little custom, a little different from what you guys have probably seen before. So, the exceptions to these first encounters are as follows. Obviously, we are to catch the first Pokemon that we see in the area. If it faints, sadly, we are no longer able to catch a Pokemon in that area. We'll have to wait till the new area in order to catch a new Pokemon. That just draws back to, once again, trying to make this a little bit more of a challenge, trying to make this a little bit harder on ourselves. As you know, Pokemon has kind of a tendency to being like a kind of like a speed running game where you can just mash your way through it and over level a certain Pokemon and not have any trouble with it at all, or at least in the in-game. Obviously some parts of the post-game slash a little bit of like competitive type aspects of the game you obviously can't just mash your way through, but in order to not have a single over-leveled Pokemon, that's what we're going to do. Another clause that we're going to be placing is the no repeating types clause. So basically, this is, like I said before, going to guarantee that we don't have one of the same type of Pokemon where we get to a certain gym that specializes in something that's super effective against it, and then boom, we get to part 30 of the series, and guess what, guys? We lost, and we have to start all over again. So, in order to avoid a bit of headache and frustration, we're going to not do that. So right here I'm going to name Torchic Sacrifice. Sadly, I'm going to be giving it up. As you guys know, I'm ditching the starter for this run, and I'm going to be placing it in the dead box. A lot of people like to release the Pokemon in Nuzlocke and stuff like that. I don't really like doing that because there are certain Pokemon that have certain moves, and sometimes in that specific generation that I like to be able to breed. I like to do a lot of competitive play, a lot of online play, build a lot of teams. I will be having a team builder series on this channel, but more on that later. Basically, I don't like to release them because they could be useful in the future. So, back to the rules. The next clause is the no same species clause. So basically, we are not allowed to have the same species of Pokemon in our team. What does that mean? So let's say I catch a Wurmple here on the first route. Let's say that's my first encounter. I don't know, it could be any one of the, I believe it's 3 Pokemon that appear on the first route here. It's Poochyena, Zigzagoon, and Wurmple, I believe, are the 3 that appear here. But let's just say for example purposes, let's say I catch a Wurmple. Now later on in the game, for example in Petalburg Woods, I can't encounter Silcoon and Cascoon. Both are evolutions of the same species. Wurmple will evolve into either Silcoon or Cascoon. Now, let's say I run into this Wurmple and then it dies on the next route. I have to put it in the box and I'm no longer able to use it. Well, that also prevents me from using any future Silcoon, Cascoon, Dustox, or Beautyflies that I may or may not run into in the run. That also kind of just like amplifies the amount of, not amplifies, but more so diversifies the kind of Pokemon that I'm going to be able to meet in this Nuzlocke run. So that way, I don't lose the Wurmple and then, oh crap, I gotta catch the Cascoon. It makes so that it's not that difficult. The next clause that we're going to be going over here is the no legendary clause. We will not be having any legendary Pokemon. Like I said, we really want to make this as much of a challenge as possible. So obviously if you have a legendary Pokemon, you're going to be cheesing more or less a lot of the game, because it's going to be fairly easy for you having such an overleveled or overpowered Pokemon, I should say. So we're definitely going to be giving the boot to legendary Pokemons. No, none of those. That's just, it's going to make it too easy. The next part that I'm going to go over here is no traded or wonder traded Pokemon. We're going to avoid wonder trading Pokemon and trading Pokemon just so that we don't get that one, you know, like we said before, we're trying to avoid getting any really strong Pokemon that's going to make any bit or the entire part of the series really easy to get through. We really want that challenge aspect, guys, and that's more or less the rules of the Nuzlocke, how we're going to be setting it up. If there's anything I might have forgot to say, I will be posting the rules down in the description of the video. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, maybe you could just, you know, apply the same rules to a Nuzlocke of your own and see if you guys like it. Let me know if you know, let's go to the discussion and let me know if you guys like this, if you don't like this, if you want to see future content like this, future series like this, and let me know if you use it yourself and if you like it yourself. I would very much like to know, guys. So here we are, you know, like I said, this video is going to be a lot of the boring bits, just trying to get through. We're getting potions here from the Mart guy. This happens, I believe it's happened in every single generation, where the Mart person has like a sale or a promotion or something going on, and they're just super duper helpful, trying to get you, you know, they're looking out for you, telling you where you can find the Pokemon Center and the Pokemarks in towns, and all these things to look out for. And have a great journey. Thank you. We will try our absolute best to have a really good journey here. So let's move on through here in Oldale Town. Once again, let's check out, like I said before, this is kind of cool. I like how they kind of do like the aerial view of the towns here. This is Oldale, where things start off scarce. Well, they're not lying. We're going to be starting off pretty scarce here, ditching our starter, and once we get our Pokeballs, we'll see what first encounter we get. That will definitely be next episode, guys. I want to apologize here while I got you guys. I know I promised some content a little bit beforehand. I got caught up in something with my job and stuff, and it just really hasn't allowed me. It's had me in a real chokehold, and it hasn't allowed me to be able to provide content for you guys. So just want to apologize for that beforehand, but we will be on a pretty regular basis from here on out. So just count on that, alright guys? So I'm just showcasing here the little circle pad motion that NPC was talking about before. And let's get into it. So this here is our first rival battle versus May. This is our in-game rival. As I said before, Trainer Miscellaneous will be my real counterpart here in this Nuzlocke run, and I'm excited to show you guys what we can both showcase going on here. You get to see my skills, his skills, and it's going to be real fun. So we are. May, of course, sends out the Pokemon that your starter is weak to. In my case, I chose Torchic, aka Sacrifice, and she has Mudkip. So here we go, guys. Let's get underway here. I have one level over this Mudkip, so let's hope that I can clutch this battle. Not too confident that that's possible. Mudkip is a fairly bulky Pokemon. Of the three starters, I believe it has the best bulk. It is, I believe that's why I chose it when I first had my third generation adventure. I just really liked it. You know, the whole axolotl design too. It's pretty cool. Oh, I think that extra level is giving us an edge here, guys. We might actually come victorious out of this one. I really like the animations that they did when they moved the Pokemon games from the 2D models to the 3D models. That was really exciting for me, and seeing all their animations come to life and stuff like that. Speaking of new models, what did you guys think about, have you guys tuned into E3 at all? Did you guys see any of the new Pokemon content? I was really excited seeing the new Water Specialist Gym Leader, and I believe there was 2 new Pokemon that were released Yonker, I believe, was one of them. Yamper, I believe. Sorry, not Yonker. Yamper, which was a little corgi Pokemon, and Impidimp, which kind of looks like a crossover between. It kind of looks like Chimchar and Sableye had a little love child there. That's what it looks like to me. It's an imp. It's a little weird. So just let me know what you guys think. That's gonna be it for episode 1 here, guys. We're gonna wrap things up right here. Sorry to be a little bit abrupt, but I will definitely be seeing you guys hopefully in the next video if you tune in. See you there. Bye.